so much, sir. Okay, again, have you started making your own questions?
Actually, so we have not made any questions. Uh,
Okay.
so all the 18 chapter have to study, no? Means in net
Yes.
point of view, all the chapters are important, or specific some
As
chapters are very important. That I want to ask you, ma'am.
Yeah, in the first session, okay, I had given you the list, the names and everything of all the 18 chapters, along with what are the topics covered in those chapters, and also how many shlokas are there. After that, I had mentioned in a table that we have 11 chapters of Bhagavad Gita that we are going to study that are important from exam point of view. So those chapters are mentioned. If you go to that PDF that I had sent, in the
Okay,
starting itself, I think second or third page only you will see that list. That's why we are doing only those chapters in detail. But other chapters also you should know the topic, and whatever we feel is important, I have included in that.
okay, ma'am.
Hmm?
Thank you.
But yeah, one thing. Okay, you've not started making the questions. It's fine till now. Start making your own questions. Whatever we do, whatever we learn, think on it. What questions can come? And I would suggest, from my experience, if you always have a group study and you ask each other the questions. For example, you have 15 questions. Hmm? Babita ji has 15 questions. Mauli ji, Rama Lakshmi ji, Sadananda ji. So everybody has 15, 20 questions. And if you ask, you will have so many questions. And also at the same time, when you don't know the answer, you will not forget that question at all. You will always remember, because it did happen with all of us also, that while discussing in the group study the questions that we didn't know the answers for, we never forget those questions. So it's a very good way of revising and smart study. Think on it. I would suggest do a group study, have a time where you all come together, and then you exchange your questions, ask each other questions. Okay, chalo. We will start today's session. I'll start the presentation. We have completed till the 12th chapter. So today we will be starting today we'll be starting the 13th adhyay. 13th adhyay is Kshetra, Kshetrajna Vibhag Yog. And before we start, very important thing, I always mention Sanskrit word for whichever topic I feel is important, and you should be knowing those Sanskrit words. I have inserted all the Sanskrit words or sentences, or I have highlighted them in the PDF. So see to it that you remember those Sanskrit words, because at times when you translate it in English, the meaning, it differs. So when the question is asked, you may not understand exactly what they are asking. But if you know the Sanskrit word of it, and if it is asked in Sanskrit, or you refer to the Hindi question, you will understand what that question is. So from exam point of view, please remember all the Sanskrit words that I have highlighted in every topic. Now, Kshetra, Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. So here Prakriti and Purush have been discussed. Matter, what is matter, what is spirit, what is the difference between them. Sorry. So now, based on this, the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, we saw in the first lecture that these 18 topics have been divided into 3 sections: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. So first 6 chapters, they referred to Karma Yoga. That means it was of the yoga of action or the path of duties. What are your duties? How you should perform your duties? What is right and what is wrong? Okay. Then from 7th to 14th, the next 6 adhyayas, they were about bhakti. Bhakti yoga, how should be your thought process, the devotion of God, what should be your mindset, that have been discussed. Now from today, 13th, from 13th, we are going to start the third set where Gyan Yoga has been discussed. Gyan, that means knowledge of the scriptures, spiritual enlightenment, spiritual progress, its principles, the tattvas behind it. All these things have been discussed in the last 6 chapters. So first 6 chapters were Karma Yoga. Then from 7th to 12th, the middle chapters were Bhakti Yoga. And now from 13th to 18th chapter is Gyan Yoga. So from today, we are going to start understanding what is Gyan or what is knowledge according to Bhagwan. So in this chapter, that is Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Vibhaga Yoga, Bhagwan is talking about two things, two entities, that is Kshetra and Kshetrajna. So what is Kshetra? Let's understand, and what is Kshetrajna. If we understand this, then everything will be very easy. So when we say Kshetra, it means the field. Now, even the field means here it is body. But in general terms, if you want to remember Kshetra or the field is, for example, you have to play cricket. So the field is the cricket ground, right? That is a Kshetra. So the field or where the things are done or where the things are being done, that is called as a field or the Kshetra. And the Kshetrajna is the knower of the field, who resides in the field or who is there in the field or who performs the action actually on the field. That is called as the Kshetrajna. So from Bhagavad Gita point of view, if we try to understand, Kshetra is our body and Kshetrajna is the soul that is there inside the body. Now here, body doesn't refer only to the physical aspect, the physical form that we see. Here, Kshetra means the body that also includes your mind, your intellect, your ego, and all those things. And Kshetrajna, that is the knower, that is a soul. Whatever remaining things are there, other than the body, intellect, mind, and ego, rest of the things is Kshetrajna. Now, here I mentioned an example for you to understand that when a farmer, he sows, whatever seed he sows in his field, he is going to grow the same crop. Even in your house, whichever plant you plant, whichever seed, that tree will grow. If you have planted a mango tree, you will not get chiku. You have planted a rose tree, you will not get mogra or jasmine. So whatever seed you sow, the fruit is going to be the same related to it. So here Bhagwan is telling us that from Bhagavad Gita or from a spiritual point of view, let's understand it in this way, that whatever the seed, that means whatever thoughts are in our mind, accordingly will be our actions, according will be our progress. So we have been always told from childhood that always think positive, think good. If any negative thought comes in our mind, just erase it or just remove it from your mind. Why? Because unconsciously, unknowingly, we are sowing that seed of negativity. We are attracting all the negative things in our life. So let's understand this body Is our field, our mind, our intellect, our ego. This is the field. Now you have to decide. I have to decide. We have to decide what we are going to sow. What do you want? How should your life? You want a happy life? You want a peaceful life? You want to be a balanced person? Then sow the seed in that way. If you continuously think of the things that have already happened, that are bothering you, okay, or that are not good for you, then you you're sowing that seed. So all the thoughts and actions related to that will be there in your future life. So mind well, whatever seed you're going to sow, accordingly you're going to get the fruit. In the sixth shlok, Bhagwan tells us, महाभूते महाभूतान्यङ्कारो बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इन्द्रियाणि दशैकं च पञ्चेन्द्रियगोचराः. Someone's mic is unmuted. Kindly mute. Sadananji, kindly mute yourself. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So Bhagwan here tells us, this is not the sixth shloka, this is the fifth shloka. Bhagwan here is telling us the field of activities is composed of 5 great elements, that is Panchamahabhut. Now, we understood what is Kshetra and what is Kshetrajna. Here, Bhagwan is talking about the Kshetra, that means the body or the field. So, what does that body, what does that field comprise of? So, it comprises of 24 tattvas in all. So, what are those 25 tattvas? 5 great elements, that means are Panchamahabhutas, ego, intellect, the unmanifest primordial matter, the 11 senses, that means the 5 Jnanendriya and 5 Karmendriya, and 11th is the mind, and the 5 objects of senses, that is Pancha Tanmatra. All these together, these 24 tattvas together constitutes the field or the kshetra. So kshetra, it is made up of 24 tattvas. For you to understand it in an easy way, I made a list. We have already learned about avyakta and vyakta in the previous chapters. So avyakta, that is mool prakriti. So first is mool prakriti, buddhi, that means intellect, ahankar, that means ego, panchamahabhut, 10 senses, that is 10 karmendriya, 5 karmendriya and 5 jnanendriya, and 1 mind. So all together, and also pancha jnanendriya gocha, that is pancha tanmatra, all these together constitutes the field, that is kshetra. So for example, in exam, if they ask and give the option, what comes in the whether it is kshetra or kshetrajna, you should know what comes in kshetra. So these are the 24 tattvas or things that come in kshetra, which we call as body. Then in the next shlok, Bhagwan tells us what is gyan. So Bhagwan is telling us what according to him is gyan and what is agyan. For us, gyan is something different, and I think for Bhagwan it is different. For us, gyan is studying. Now, for example, we are studying different subjects. So we say, oh, I'm becoming knowledgeable. I'm getting so much of gyan. But according to Bhagwan, let's understand what is gyan. Studying physics, chemistry, maths, biology. Is this gyan? Getting a PhD, clearing the net, is that gyan? Or is it something else? So Bhagwan tells us that Gyan, according to him, constitutes 20 attributes. If you have these attributes in you, then you are a Gyani. Otherwise, you are a Gyani. So what is Gyan? Humbleness, freedom from hypocrisy. Freedom from hypocrisy means, in layman terms, we always say that मन में कुछ होता है और दिखाते कुछ है. There's something in your mind, and when you're speaking, you speak something else. So that is hypocrisy. So freedom from hypocrisy, non-violence, that is ahimsa, forgiveness, kshama, simplicity, service of the guru, cleanliness of body and mind. So again, lot of these things, they come from Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Patanjali Muni has also referred to all these things when he has mentioned yam and niyam. You can relate it over here also. Sattva Shuddhi, Saumanasya, Ekagra, Indriya Jay, all these Patanjali Rishi has mentioned as yam and niyam. So similarly here, Mahapatraji, please mute yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Steadfastness, self-control, dispassion towards the object of senses. That means detachment. What does this mean? Detachment. Absence of egoism, keeping in mind the evils of birth. So you should know why, what, or why we take birth. What is the reason of rebirth? Disease, old age, death, non-attachment, absence of clinging to the spouse, children, home. Here, when Bhagavan is saying absence of clinging, that means he doesn't mean that you should not care for those people. Of course, we should care for our people. There are people, they are family, and care for them as it is your duty. In the first 6 chapters, Bhagavan has, thank you. In the first 6 chapters, we have understood what are our duties. So in that, Bhagavan has already told us that we all are husband, wife, son, sister, brother. We are playing different roles. Play that role. Perform your duties. But don't get attached to it. That is what Bhagavan is meaning over here. Absence of clinging. That means don't get attached to them. Even-mindedness. Even-mindedness amidst desired and undesired events in life. Even-mindedness means samadrushti. That means your mind should be balanced. You should be calm. If good things happen, fine. You should not be too happy. If something doesn't take place according to your wish, you should not be very sad. So you should be even-minded. That means balanced no matter what the situation is. Constant devotion and exclusive devotion towards me. So Bhagavan has already told that 24/7, your mind should be focused on me. Whatever you're doing, it is for me. It should be devoted towards me. An inclination for solitary places. Now, if you want to practice meditation, or if you want to be with Bhagwan, if you want to work on yourself, you should spend some time on your own in a quiet place. Only then you will be able to practice meditation. Aversion from mundane society. That means you should stay away from unnecessary public contact. That also has been told even in Hatha Pradipika. That unnecessary janasanga parityag, unnecessary contact with people should be avoided. Be in contact only as much it is necessary. Constancy in spiritual knowledge. That means constantly work for your progress. And philosophical pursuit of absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge. So all these things, according to Bhagwan, is Gyan or knowledge. Then what is Agyan? Anything and everything that contradicts Gyan is Agyan, or Bhagwan calls it ignorance. Now, after the class, just read this once or twice. See to it, how many qualities do you have or you're working for? Make a list. Okay, these are the things that I have these qualities I already have, and these are the things I'm working on, and these are the things that I have not thought about. So let me work on these also. Make a list and see how many attributes or how much gyan according to Bhagwan we have or we follow. Then in the next slok, Bhagwan tells us about Purush and Prakriti. So when the Purush, that is the individual soul, we all know the soul is called as Purush. Sankhya has already told us. Is seated in Prakriti, that is a material energy. Then it desires to enjoy the three gunas. Attachment to them becomes the cause of its birth in superior and inferior womb. Sankhya Darshan, Sankhya had already told us, even Yog Darshan follows or is a mirror of Sankhya Darshan. So Purush and Prakriti are two different individuals or entities. When they come in contact, then everything in the universe is created. That means creation of universe, it took place because Purush and Prakriti, they came together. Now, why did they come together? In Prakriti, Purush is pure, but Prakriti has three gunas, Sattva, Raja and Tama. When they are in balanced state, then Prakriti and Purush are different. But when there is imbalance in these three gunas, then what happens? The union of Prakriti and Purush takes place, and everything in the universe is created because of that union. And then starts the desire, the attachment, the rag, the dvesh, everything follows it. And because of which we perform actions or karma. Then karma fell, that is the fruit of our activities. And because of which, then sanchit karma, prarabdha karma, and then we take birth after rebirth. Now again, birth in superior and inferior womb. We will learn it in the next chapters. Where we take birth, that will depend on our karma. So, Bhagwan is telling that as per our karma, whatever desires that we enjoy because of these gunas, whatever karma we perform, because of that we take birth. Now, some are born in very good families and some are born in the families where, or they have a life where the entire life is full of hardship. It could be physical, mental, in every way or any way. So why does this happen? Why some people are born in a very good family, they enjoy a nice, comfortable life, and why some are born with only problems? So that is discussed in the next chapters. He who thus knows the Purush and Prakriti together with the qualities in whatsoever condition he may be, he is not born again. So here Bhagavan is telling us, whoever knows Purush and Prakriti together with their qualities, then in whatever condition he may be, he is not born again. We as ignorant people, we think this body is mine, everything around us is as. So we don't see Purush and Prakriti as different. We don't understand that when we are getting attached to certain things, we are watering Rajagun, Tamagun, and our Sattva gun is reducing. But the person who knows what is Purush, what is Prakriti, what happens when there is imbalance in their gunas, those who understand those gunas, those who nurture or water Sattva gun, work on reducing Raja and Tamagun, they are not born. because they have attained Gyan or knowledge. They are free from birth and death cycle. Now, some do this by meditation. They attain this Gyan, or they are free from the cycle of birth and death by practicing meditation. Behold the self in the self by the self. That means they are with themselves and they attain the knowledge of the self, who I am, the real self, the knowledge, the soul. We understand through meditation that I am a part of Paramatma. So some understand this by practicing meditations. Others, they understand by yoga of knowledge, that is by Sankhya Yoga, which we understood in the previous verses that Purusha and Prakriti are different. When they understand this, when they come to know this Gyan, that Purusha and Prakriti are different, that is Sankhya Yoga. And others by Karma Yoga, by performing the karmas which are free from desire, attachment, detachment from fruit of the activities. All this is Karma Yoga. So follow any path. Bhagavan is saying that follow any of these paths. Now, some people, some of us, they perform Karma Yoga, some perform or they have the knowledge, they have that Gyan, and they follow the path of yoga, and some they work on themselves through meditation. So these are the different paths or methods to understand or to attain the knowledge or Gyan. Wherever any being is born, the unmoving or the moving, that it is from the union between the field and the knower of the field. So here, Bhagavan is telling us the field, that means kshetra, and knower of the field, that is kshetrajna. Wherever any being is born, no matter what is there in the universe, whoever is born, moving or unmoving, that means Bhagavan is telling living or even non-living things, they are also created. How are they born? They are born from the union of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. With this, 13th chapter ends. And now let's move on to the 14th Adhyay. You've understood what is Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Now, after that, you need to understand the gunas, the three gunas that are there in our body. Here, Bhagwan has just mentioned about the three gunas. That, okay, we have three gunas in us, and because of those three gunas, the imbalance, what happens? Birth and rebirth. The cycle goes on. Now, here, Bhagwan says, now let's understand. What are those three gunas? How to nurture them? What happens when Sattva gun increases, or Rajagun increases, or Tamagun increases? So that is discussed in this chapter. My womb is the great Brahma. So Bhagavan is telling that just like the baby is in a mother's womb. So where is Brahma? It is in the Mool Prakriti, in the form of a germ or in the form of a little being, and from which is the birth of all beings. And from me, from that Mool Prakriti, everything in this universe is born or created. Now the three gunas are born from Prakriti, or they are born out of Prakriti. So which are those three gunas? Sattvam Rajastama iti guna Prakriti sambhavaha nibadhnati mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. So Bhagavan is telling Arjun that the material energy, everything that is there in the universe is energy, different forms of energy. And they constitute of three gunas, that is sattva, that is goodness, Raja, that is passion, and Tama, which is ignorance. So, which are the three gunas? Sattva, Raja, and Tama. And these gunas, they bind the eternal soul to the perishable body. Why we are not free? Why we are attached to the body? Why do we have to get entangled in the cycle of birth and rebirth? It is because of these three gunas, that is Sattva, Raja, and Tama. Now, how does these gunas, they bind our soul to the body? So Bhagwan has explained it in the next shlokas. I have put it in a table form so that it will be easy for you to understand and learn from exam point of view. So Bhagwan here is telling how do the three gunas bind the Dehi to the Deha. We know Deha means our body. And here, if you see in the exam the word Dehi, Dehi means the soul. That is, or you can say the kshetrajna. Deha is the body, Dehi is the soul. Now, in this, what happens? How the origin, the origin of sattva gun, when the sattva gun is seen or is increased in our body, then it means that it is illuminating. Sattva is prakashak. It is illuminating. Rajagun is ragatmak. You have to learn or know these Sanskrit words. Prakashatmak means illuminating. Rajagun, the origin of Rajagun is ragatmak. That means Rajagun is born out of desire and lust, out of trushna. That is the source of thirst and attachment. So in exam, if it is asked, what is the origin or the source of Rajagun? It is Rag and Trishna. That is desire or lust and the source of thirst and attachment. Now, Tamagun, it originates from Agyan. Not knowing what is real, what is unreal. Not having the 20 attributes of Gyan is Agyan. Now, what happens when Sattva Gun increases in our body? What is the fruit or what is the result? Sukha Sangena Badhnati Jnana Sangena. Sukha, that means Badhnati means it binds. With whom does it bind? It binds the soul by creating attachment for a sense of happiness and knowledge. So when Sattva Gun increases, what happens? It binds the soul by creating attachment for a sense of happiness and knowledge. Now, here, sense of happiness is in a good way, not the happiness of materialistic objects. When Tamagun increases, what happens? Karma sang, attachment to action. That means whatever karma we do, we are attached. This I did. I bought this car. I am the CEO of the company. I have built this bungalow. So this I have done this, me. Attachment to the action, karma sanga. That is a fruit of Rajagun. Pramad is negligence, and alas, laziness, and nidra is sleep. So when Tamagun increases in our body, what happens? We are negligent. We know that this thing is wrong, but still we do it. Or we know that if we do this, it is good for us, but still we don't take the efforts to do that thing. So that is pramad. You're negligent. You don't care. Okay, fine. It's what happens. Exam hai, nahi padhai ki, what happens? It's fine. I'll do it tomorrow. That is pramad. Alyasam is laziness. At times you feel very lazy. Some days, you feel like I don't want to do anything today. That is alas. That means the tamakud has increased in your body. Nidra, that is sleep. When you feel sleepy, that means tamagun has increased. Please relate all these things to you in your day-to-day life. Try to relate it. It will be easy for you to understand. And remember also, very easy. You can relate it. Now, when predominant, when sattva gun increases, what happens? The light of intelligence, it shines. That means we know what is right and wrong, what is real, what is unreal. We understand the difference between Purush and Prakriti. So, Gyan. What happens when Rajaguna is predominant? Greed. I want this, I want that. Huh? You are very greedy. Activity. That means you are too active. Ye karna hai, wo karna hai, I want to do this, I want to do that. Undertaking of actions, restlessness, longing. All these qualities we have also learned in Chitta Bhumi when you have studied Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Rajagun, restlessness, anxiety, constantly thinking, moving your legs, anxious. Mind does not calm at all. All these qualities are seen when Rajaguna is dominant. When Tama is predominant, what happens? Darkness, inertness, heedlessness, and delusion. You don't understand the difference between right and wrong. You're deluded. You stay in your own world. Then, death, the pure abode with after death, what happens? The pure abode, which are free from Raja and Tamagun, are attained. That means a Sattva-guni person after death, he goes to heaven, which is, or you can say, a pure abode, which is free from Raja and Tamagun. When a person with Rajagun dominant, when he dies, he is born among those who are attached to action. So he keeps on doing karma and he is attached to the karma, then karma fal. Tamaguni person, he is born in the womb of the senseless. That means he is born in the womb, or go his next birth is at a very low level where he doesn't he's very ignorant and faces a lot of hardship in his life. Then the fruit, if you have sattva gun, or if you increase the sattva gun, what you get? Nirmal. That is, you become pure, your soul becomes pure. Fruit of rajagun is dukkha. You face lot of pain, unhappiness, sorrow in your life. When tamagun increases, then agyan or ignorance is seen. So, fruit of sattva is pure, that is nirmal. Knowledge, that is gyan. Urdhva gachanti, that means our soul, it goes to the abode of the higher place, that is heaven. Urdhva gachanti, it moves to the higher level. But a Rajaguna person throughout his life, okay, when he takes his born again, he faces lot of sorrow, lot of unhappiness, pain. He's greedy. That means lobe. Madhye tishtanti. That means he is again born on this earth. And he has to again lead a life and pursue everything. Tamaguni person is filled with agyan, that is ignorance, pramad, we had already seen, and adho gachanti, that means he is born in the netherworlds, the lower worlds. One is the heaven, the earth, and below that is a which we call as adhogati, or the lower world, or the netherworld. He is born in that world, which is very, very painful, and it is not something that anybody would want to be born. So, looking at these, you have to understand what do you want in life? Which gun do you want to be predominant? Tam, Raja, or Sattva gun? And work on them. Bhagavad Gita is all about our life. How we are, how should be our life. It is all about things from our day-to-day life. Very interesting. And the next look. Gunane tanate trin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkhay vimukto mrita mashrute. Sorry. Here Bhagavan is telling the embodied one having crossed beyond these three gunas. That means who have won over all the three gunas, out of which the body is evolved, is freed from death, decay, pain, birth, and attains immortality. That means understand over here. What is Bhagavan saying? We know that because of these three gunas, Sattva, Raja, and Tama, we are born. Here Bhagavan is telling that when you have won over all the three gunas, that means there is not tamagun, nor rajagun, nor sattvagun, not even sattva, then you have actually attained freedom. Then you have attained moksha or mukti or immortality. So all you should be free from all these three gunas. Further, Bhagavan tells who is a gunatit. Very, very important gunatit word. Who is a gunatit? Or who is free from three gunas? Or who is the person eligible for Brahma Prapti? Any of these questions. So Arjun inquires what are the characteristics of those who have gone beyond the three gunas. Now here Bhagavan is telling that you should be free beyond the three gunas. But how to free yourself? And how do they act? Those people who have gone beyond these three gunas, how do they act? How do they go beyond the bondage of gunas? How do they free themselves from these three gunas? Arjun is curious because even he wants the same. Bhagavan tells us that the persons who are transcendental to the three gunas neither hate illumination nor activity nor delusion. That means the people who are enlightened, they neither hate sattva, raja, or tamagun when these are abundantly present, nor do they long for when they are absent. So, a transcendental person, a person who is free from three gunas. How is his mind, or how is that person? He doesn't long for those three gunas, nor does he hate. He is a very balanced person. They remain neutral to the modes of nature. They are very neutral. They are not disturbed or they're not worried about anything at all. Summer. Their mind is balanced. Knowing it is only the gunas that act, they stay established in the self without wavering. They know that it is only the gunas, whether it is tama or raja or sattva. It is because of these three gunas that we act or we do any particular action. The actions that we perform are because of these gunas. He knows that. And therefore, what does he do? He is just with himself. Without running after the senses, his mind is stable at one place. And those who are alive in happiness and distress, whether they are happy or the situation is something that is good or bad, who are established in the self, who look upon soil, stone, or a glass of gold or a piece of gold as of equal value. We had discussed about this soil, stone, piece of gold, yoga, rude, even sthita prajna. For him, the soil, the stone, gold, all are equal. Amidst pleasant and unpleasant events, who are intelligent, who accept both blame and praise with equanimity. That means if someone praises us, you're looking, wow, you're looking very beautiful today. The whole day we spend smilingly. We are so happy. We are in the seventh cloud or what seventh world. And if someone says, oh, you spoke very rudely, or oh, you have put on weight. What happens? Entire day we spend thinking about it. So here Bhagwan is telling that those who accept blame, okay, I'm like this, okay, fine. You don't feel that I'm a good person, or you feel that I'm like that, okay, fine. Take the blame, accept it, fine. Don't think about it. If someone is praising you, okay, fine. In both the situations, you should be balanced. And if you remember, I told you in one session, just because someone says something to you, that doesn't mean that you become that. If someone says you're beautiful, that doesn't make you beautiful. If someone says you're not beautiful, still that doesn't change who you are. It is whatever that person is saying is in their mind. It shows what they are. What is the state of their mind? It has nothing to do with us. Always remember that. And that is what Bhagwan is telling us over here. Who remain the same in honor and dishonor. Whether someone honors you, insults you, it is fine. Don't think about it too much. Don't feel sad. If someone honors you with a prize, okay, fine. If someone dishonors you, disrespects you, still your mind should not be disturbed. Bhagwan tells us friend and foe, that means friend and enemies are also alike. He is repeating the same thing again. And who have abandoned all enterprises, they are said to have risen above the three gunas. Again, indirectly, Bhagwan is telling about yoga root, or you can say sthita prajna. For him, in short, when you are in balanced state, at that time, Bhagavan says that you have risen above the three gunas, sattva, raja, tama. You are above that. And those who serve me with complete devotion, who have surrendered themselves to me, rise, they are above, or they rise above these three modes of material nature. They rise above the three gunas and they come to the level of Brahman. That means they attain Brahma, or they attain God. With this, we come to an end of 14th chapter. 15th is a very small chapter. We will finish this and we will stop. Now, Purushottam Yoga. Look at this picture first. Understand what this picture is. A tree is shown over here. The roots are towards the sky. Then the trunk and the entire tree, the branches, the leaves are facing down. And again from them, the roots again are arising. And they are attached to the world. So here the tree is upside down. Now in this chapter, Bhagwan is talking about the upside down Ashwath tree. Which tree is that? Ashwath. That is a peepal tree. Now Bhagwan describes this tree. He calls it a mysterious tree in which the embodied souls, they wander. So what happens that the souls, they wander in this tree up and down from lifetime after lifetime. Means in every birth they keep wandering in this tree. They are unable to comprehend anything, their origin, their age, nothing. But however, as God is the source of this tree, if you look at this picture, God is the source of this tree. From God, this tree has risen. God as a source of this tree, its roots, they face upwards towards the sky. It's an upside down tree. So now when the tree is upside down, the roots are towards the sky. Its leaves are the fruitative activities defined in the Vedas. So Bhagwan is telling that the source is Bhagwan. Then the leaves of this are the fruits that have been defined in the Vedas, fruitive activities defined in the Vedas, that are the leaves. The three gunas, they irrigate this tree. That means when we water the tree or we put some, you can say, manure, the tree grows. So what makes this tree grows? It is the three gunas, sattva, raja, and tama, which creates the objects of senses that are like buds on the tree branches. Now the three gunas, they create the objects of senses, that is panchajnanendriya, panchatanmatra. These buds, they sprout aerial roots that further propagate this ashwath tree over a large area. So these are the aerial roots which again propagates the tree. It makes the tree grow even larger. Here, Bhagwan is telling us, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Urdhva Shakham Ashwatham Prahuravyayam Channausi Yasya Parnani Yastau Vedasa Vedavid. So Bhagwan is telling that wise people speak of the indestructible Ashwath tree as having its roots above, branches below. Because this is upside down, the roots are above, branches are below, whose leaves are the Vedas. And he who knows it is the knower of Ved. The person who knows how this tree is, he is the knower of Veda. Then Bhagavan tells us that its form is not perceived here as such. Neither its end, nor its origin, nor its foundation, nor its resting place. Having cut this firm-rooted Ashwath tree with the strong axe of non-attachment. Now if we know what this tree is, what it is made of, how do we cut it? If we don't want this tree to grow, what to do? So Bhagwan is giving the solution also here, that you can cut this tree with a strong axe of non-attachment. That means detach from everything in this world. And when you are detached, then you will attain true knowledge, that you will be the knower of Veda. And then this tree will be cut and you will be free from everything. You will be free from the cycle of birth, rebirth. You will be free from the three gunas and you will attain Brahma. Upon taking refuge in him, one will not return to this world. And when you cut this tree with the axe of non-attachment, you will not be born again. You will become one with Brahma. Now, how do you attain this Brahma or Parampad or eternal goal that Brahma is talking about? So Bhagwan here tells us Nirman Mohajit Sanga Dosha Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kamaha Dvandvair Vimukta Sukha Dukha Saishnair Gacchantya Muda Padamavyayantat. So Bhagwan here is telling us, free from pride and delusion. We should be free from pride, free from delusion, victorious over the evil of attachment. That means you should be free from attachment, you should be detached, dwelling constantly in the self. You should always be absorbed in your own true nature. Work for your spiritual growth. Desires completely retired, free from all the desires, free from the pairs of opposites like pleasure and pain. So you should be free from this also. That means you should be balanced. When this happens, such a person who is free from all these things, he attains the eternal goal, which is Parampad, or the eternal goal. In the next shlok, Bhagwan tells us, न tat bhasayate suryo, न शशाङ्को न पावकः यत् गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते न tat tadhama paramam mama. Here I missed out na. I will put it while sharing the PDF. So Bhagwan is telling, nor does the sun shine there, nor the moon, nor fire, to which having gone they return not. So how is that place? How is the Parampad that is described? What is it like to become one with God? How is that eternal abode? So there is no sunshine, there is no sun, there is no moon, there is no fire. It is a place from where once you reach, you cannot come back. And that is how, or that is where my supreme abode is. So here, Parampad is described by Bhagwan. What happens when the soul leaves the body? Then Bhagwan tells that, okay, what happens to the soul after death? Sharirai yadavapnoti यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्. So Bhagwan here is telling, when the Lord obtains a body and when he leaves it, he takes these and goes as the wind takes the scents from their seeds. So here Bhagwan is telling that after the death, what happens? What does he take with him? So the things that he takes with him has been mentioned in the next shlokas, but here Bhagwan is explaining, just as the wind takes the scents from the flower, a flower has beautiful fragrance, but when a wind blows, that fragrance, how softly, smoothly that wind takes that fragrance. Similarly, Bhagwan takes certain things with him. And what are those? Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninan Dehamashritah Pranapana Samayukta Pachamyannai Chaturvidham. Having become fire or Vaishvanar, I abide in the body of things and associated with Pran and Apan, digest the fourfold food. Vaishvanar. What do you mean by Vaishvanar? Here, Vaishvanar means eternal reality, which is indicated that life, which is there inside our body, our physical body, which we call as life. How does that life manifest? Or what is the base of its existence? It is a digestive fire. Because of the fire that is created through digestion, life is there. If there is no digestive fire, if we do not consume any food, we cannot stay alive. So that digestive fire which is there inside our body, Bhagwan refers to that digestive fire as Vaishvanar. Digestive fire, it is associated with Prana and Apana. Chatur Vidham. Here in the shlok, another word, first important word is Vaishvanar, that is the digestive fire. Another important word is Chaturvidham. That means this digestive fire is because we need to digest the food. Now the food that we'll consume is divided into 4 categories or 4 types. So what are those? First is Bhojya. You have to remember these 4 types of food. Okay, Bhojya, that means whatever we chew, anything that we have to chew, bread, chapati, rice, then vegetables, whatever we chew is called as bhojya. So that is the first category. Second is peya, whatever liquid we drink, milkshake, juice, soup, or the semi-solid foods which we swallow, which we do not have to chew, which we can swallow or drink. That comes under peya. Then is kosher, foods that are sucked, such as sugarcane. That comes under kosher. And layer, foods, sorry, that can be licked, which you lick and eat. Means honey. We even lick, actually, uh, what here? Lollipop also. It's not a right example, but just for you to understand what is layer. Anything that will lick. Even chocobar, ice cream, kulfi. We lick it and eat it. So those type of foods, Bhagwan is has categorized them as layer. So these are the food type of foods that we consume. Then Bhagwan tells us, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattas smrutirjnanapohinaincha vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo vedanta krudveda videva chaham. So Bhagwan here is telling us that I'm seated in the hearts of all, and from me is the memory, the knowledge. And if it is not there, then we feel the absence of that too. And verily that which has been known in all the Vedas, whatever is written in Vedas, that is me. I am the author of Vedant and the knower of the Vedas. So Bhagwan is telling over here about him. He is the Veda, he is the Vedant, he is the knower of Veda. He is in the heart, he is in the memory, he is the Gyan. He is everywhere. Just 2 minutes and we'll finish. Dvau vimau purushau loke ksharaschaksara eva cha ksharas sarvani bhutani kutastho uchyate. So Bhagwan is telling that there are two kinds of creations or beings in this creation or in this world. One is kshara. That means kshar means perishable. That can be, that is created or comes to life, that is born and they're destroyed. So the laptop, the mobile, even we, the bungalow, the trees, these are perishable. And the akshar, that is imperishable, that was never created and that can never be destroyed. The perishable are all living beings in the material realm. Not living, all beings, living or non-living. They are kshar because they are perishable. And the imperishable are the liberated beings, who have attained moksha, who are free. They are imperishable. So Bhagwan here is using the word kutastha as imperishable. So kutastha is what? Imperishable. Akshar is jivatma, who is imperishable. Our soul, it is imperishable. With a body, it does not die. It just changes the body, just like we change the clothes. So our soul, our jivatma, is akshar. And what is kshar? Kshar is all the living being, all the living beings, and even the non-living, the laptop, the mobile, which are perishable. They are called as kshar. So here, very important, just remember from exam point of view, these three words, kutastha, akshar, and kshar. Okay, next chapter we will start in the next session. Today, let's stop over here.